The Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast is...
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Breaking Kayfabe.
Oh my goodness, there's stuff happening in Mordor. Sounds like things are exploding. Hey everybody, this is an episode of Breaking Kayfabe with your favorite four dummies from the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. Alec Ransom, Tiger Bomb Tom, Beef the Legend, and Poot the Bard are here to entertain your eardrums with an episode of Breaking a Kayfabe. And to kick this episode off, I'm going to go ahead and throw a question out to you three guys. Are you ready?
Ooh, yeah,
Never.
boy.
Ready.
Okay.
Okay, now I am.
All right. I didn't want to start too soon. Okay. So why are there so many? What's happening?
Because
Those
God
fireworks,
hates
or is that a
you.
machine gun? I don't know.
Motor City
Mordor
machine guns?
they could be. No, they wouldn't come to Butler. Well, they might come to Butler. It's hard to say. Anyway, I'm going to ask you guys this. You get an extra year tacked onto your life. Now, that's not to say that you're going to live to be super age and old person, but everybody has a date. Everybody has a date where they're going to go. We don't know what it is, but you got it. You get an extra year tacked onto your life. For every friend you cut.
Jesus.
Wow, bless you.
Thank you.
I'm really
You all right?
surprised you didn't go with. What do you always say when you sneeze?
No, man.
Bitch ass.
fuck.
Bitch
What
ass.
is it?
You say bitch ass.
Bitch ass. That's what I say. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so listen. You get an extra year tacked onto your life. You have to make this decision at one time. It can't progress through your life. You meet with a guy, and he gives you this deal. You get an extra year tacked onto your life. For every friend right then and there that you cut out of your life. How many years are you tacking onto your life?
I can tell you right now.
How?
I can tell you right now, like legitimate friends and not just acquaintances.
Yeah,
Probably
not people
a
you
whole
know,
lot.
but people that you would, in your heart, consider a friend.
So how are we defining friend? Like someone I talk to every week, or someone that I have, that I was buddies with in college,
Like
and,
a bosom buddy.
It's you have to answer that. I can't answer that. It's not
Yeah.
like this guy and I worked together for 3 years and we're Facebook buddies. When we talked all the time when we were at work with each other, but since we don't work together anymore, we've not spoken in person or on the phone or in a text since then. I would not consider that a friend. I would consider that an acquaintance. But you have to know in your own heart of hearts who your friends are.
Honor system.
So, yeah, so you tell me, how many extra years are you tacking onto your life?
So you have to lose them.
Yeah, I mean, nothing bad happens to them, but you have to cut them out of your life. Like, you basically have to say to them, like, hey, I'm choosing to add an extra year onto my life by cutting you out of my life. Goodbye.
You know what? I'm going to lead this off, and I'm going to say I'm not cutting anybody out because I'm not adding any more years on to the end of my life because those are the adult diaper wearing kidney dialysis. I'm pissing or shitting myself by then.
You can have those years. We
hopefully-
don't want them.
Yeah, but listen, you don't know that, though. You
This is
could
true.
live to be 45
Yeah.
and then get stricken with cancer, and you're done. Well, you're still going to get stricken with cancer, but instead of checking out at 45, if you cut 5 people out of your life, you now live to be 50.
But then
So there's no guarantees you're going to live into the good old golden ages.
Well, here's the thing. What's life worth really living if I don't have some core group of friends to enjoy it with? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I definitely enjoy my solitude at times, but I think at the essence, any human connection, we crave some sort of interaction in the deepest cockles of our hearts. So I'm gonna go with fuck that dude and the horse he rode in on with his shitty deal, and I'm keeping my friends, and I'm gonna live life to its fullest, and I'm gonna make the most of it. not knowing when my time is going to come or anything like that, and not trying to tack on any extra years. I'm just going to keep on keeping on.
I reflect Tom's sentiments. Also, somebody recently watched or listened to No Cure for Cancer.
That is ingrained in my brain forever and ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe in the cockles or in the subcockles. Maybe
in the liver, maybe in the kidneys, maybe even in the colon. We don't know.
My man.
No, dude, I listened to that special so many times. It's gross. It's good, but I'm saying it's disgusting how many times I listened to it. Now, I have a good story about that album after this conversation. That comedy album. This one, I'm going with Tom on this one, dude. First of all, I don't want to know when I'm gonna die. Also, like you said, that scenario, I get stricken with cancer, I live till I'm 50. Like, dude, I don't want to extend any of that. I've always been one of those people that's never been afraid of death. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not sitting here going, oh God, like I had one of those come to Jesus moments earlier this week where I went,
I think Beef has the Rona.
He might. After a couple.
I think Beef just takes lisinopril. He'll be fine.
After a couple.
What the hell is that? What side effects are you having? Leaky anal leakage, loose floorboards?
Loose floorboards? No, he has a condition that's a side effect called the mangler.
It's I wish it's just a dry cough. I think it's blood pressure. I don't remember.
Right, dry cough. Right. You also have a fever.
We'll start interviewing replacements for your untimely demise from the Rona here within the next few weeks. Got it.
Well, anyway, can we get back to answering my question, please?
Let me answer this. Basically, I'm not going to worry about it. I had that come to Jesus moment where I went. I'm 35 now after this past Poopmas that got ruined by the Rona. But like with Poopmas, it was like. I went, oh, I'm 35. I'm as old as my parents were when they had me. Like, I had that kind of like, whoa, and you're like, wow, time flies. But then that went away, and I went, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and focusing on my goals and loving my friends. So I would say no to losing any of my friends. You next, Beef.
If the quarantine has taught me anything, it is that I can live without quite a few people in my life and still be soups happy. I would definitely keep, you guys around for show because you guys make me happy. And I am a true believer of, that which does not please you deserves to be cut. Huh?
Nothing. I love you, buddy.
That which does not please you deserves to be cut out of your life. So,
Heath is now turned into a Japanese hoarding specialist. Go on.
No, I just, there are so many people who I was close with at one time or another that they post something on Facebook and I'm like, oh God, this again. And I'm like, oh, do I really have to delete them? Like, so, and like I'll sit and I'll talk with them and everything's great. And we talk about the good old days and everything's great. I could probably cut like a good 15, 20 people out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a McMahon laugh. That was a McMahon laugh. Hey, pal.
You're fired.
I don't know what that says about me or what that says about the people. And again, it's not to say that I don't value these people's friendships. But I guess the caveat is that there's no guarantee that even though I am going to be around that extra time, that the people that I love, i.e. you guys and my wife, are. So like even though I am flexing and getting my extra time, it might be more miserable time without the people that I love. Yep. So and that's a chance that you take no matter what. That's a chance you take walking out of bed in the morning, or rolling out of bed as most people do,
or falling.
I just imagine him having a video game glitch moment where like your character is supposed to get up out of bed, but they glitch into an upward T position stance, and then they walk away to the side of their bed.
Kind of.
Go on.
But I guess my point is that there are a lot of people that I could probably cast aside, and just keep my true close friends. I'm not a bastard to say probably the people that keep my prayers every night. Keep those around me. But if we're and it makes me sound like a selfish, greedy asshole.
Yeah,
but
man.
I mean, more time is more time. So I don't know. I honestly, like I said, I could probably get it to some people from my life and be just fine to the tune of like 15.
Welcome to the Breaking Kayfabe podcast. My God.
Nah, man, that was good. I appreciate that, Beef. I appreciate
I'm just
that.
busting his balls.
I appreciate that. I love my friends, but fuck off attitude.
I just
What
look
about
at
you,
it this way.
Ransom?
Those people, like, if I had to pick people that I was gonna cut, like, I shouldn't have had them in my life in the first place, sort of thing. So,
Well, right, but in this specific scenario,
yeah,
they become a nice piece of baggage that you're like, oh, well, it's a bonus. Now I don't have to fucking.
That's the problem. I've already gone into that crotchety old man phase of my life where I just start cutting people out of my life even before this question was posed. So I'm already at that. Like, I'm at the point where I really don't have any other friends to lose. I can only go upward from here. So, Ransom.
I'd have to say no. I don't have an explanation. I just
no.
Yeah.
Nah.
I think I'm with you, Tom. Like, if we're friends now, we're friends for a reason. And if we're not friends now, well, there's a reason. So,
And
I don't think there's anybody in my life I'd want.
Go ahead.
At least, I was gonna say, at least for me, people have, some true friends like Ransom. Hell, whenever I embarked on joining the podcast here and stuff like that many moons ago, it feels like it's honestly, if it hasn't been a little bit more than a year or so, we're about like the AEW of the AEW phase of the podcast here, but it feels like it's been longer,
many years ago.
But like Ransom and I were good friends way back in the day, and to no fault of our own, just life kind of pulled us in different directions or whatever, but here we are reunited and it feels so good.
Yeah, it was one of those things we just kind of fell out of touch. Like, life happened, and
yeah, so
we fell out of touch, but we got reconnected. So
I have people like that in my life. Every so often, it's crazy who, for one reason or another, the people that kind of rotate in and out of my life and stuff like that, and so I couldn't ever say that, like, just I'm gonna cut this person and cut that person or whatever. So
we learned who the megalomaniac of this podcast is with this conversation.
I suppose that's true.
No, I'm messing with you, Beef. I totally get the mentality, but so I said I had a story about Dennis Leary's No Cure for Cancer comedy special CD. So,
yes.
And I'm gonna try and condense this as much as I can. Growing up, like, and I'm very grateful for this now. My parents, very much kept my sister and I in line, raised us right, raised us to have respect and work hard and everything. Part of that was weren't allowed to watch MTV until we were older. They kept us from violent stuff and everything like that. And I appreciate it now because when I got older, I could look at those things and not have them, and I could go, oh, this is art. Oh, this is a show. Oh, this is fake. Oh, and appreciate it in a way that I believe it was meant to be appreciated. Now, in turn, when I got to high school, up until that point, I had grown up on NPR classical music and, a lot of what my sister listened to, which I'm going to tell you something, I appreciate a lot of it, was like, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, Joe Michael Montgomery, like country, like, the 90s country stuff. And also Weird Al, because I just wanted to be the coolest kid in the universe. Weird Al is great, though. Running with Scissors, you never heard that album? Go listen to Albuquerque. I memorized that son of a bitch. Anyway, when I got to high school and I met the Dudes, which Beef was part of, when I first got to high school, I had another group of friends, and they were really into like hip hop and rap, right? So I'm sitting in the band hallway waiting for band to start, and I had my CD player Walkman, and I'm listening to the Slim Shady LP, right?
Nice.
And I'm gonna listen to it, and my buddy Dennis loaned it to me, and I'm listening to it, and my buddy, our mutual friend, Beef and I's mutual friend Ryan, we call him Hoss, walks up and he goes, "Hey man, what are you listening to?" And I was like, and again, this is 14-year-old me, freshman in high school, and I go, "Slim Shady LP, man, it's pretty badass." And he gets this look on his face of not panic, but concern of like, I can save this boy. And he reaches into his bag, rifles through his backpack, and hands me an album. And I look at it, and there's like a cloudy sky and an electric chair and like bolts of electricity coming out of it. And I said, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. And he goes, "Just put that in. Band's going to start. Put that in and listen to the first track." And it was Fight Fire with Fire. Put it in. You hear a nice, clean acoustic intro. And then all of a sudden, and I am like, literally my mind was blown. I had never heard this before. Like, really. My parents didn't grow up listening to like Led Zeppelin and The Who and stuff. I didn't have that progression from classic rock to metal to everything. So it was... this was, and I got through the first Fight Fire with Fire, and then For Whom the Bell Tolls comes on, and I got maybe 45 seconds into it, and we had to go into band. I didn't pay attention that day. I just had this in my head. What was that? I gotta have this. Gave the CD back to Hoss. Go out to the car. Get in the car. Mom picked us up. And she said, "Oh, how was your day, sweetie?" And I said, and this shows my age. And I go, "Great. We have to go down to the record store." And she goes, "What? Why?" I'm like, "Please, can we go to the record store like right now?" And I went in. I said, "I have to buy something." So I go in there, and I found.
Quick question: was it Rex Manning Day?
What?
Okay, never mind. You hadn't seen that movie. Go on.
No. Anyway.
Okay.
I go into National Record Mart, NRM, at our local mall, or hallway, as I like to call it, and I picked up Metallica's Ride the Lightning, and I remember the dudes playing me some Dennis Leary. And I went over and I saw Dennis Leary, No Cure for Cancer. I went and bought those 2 CDs, and after that, my life changed. Just drastically. Like, those 2 things helped me, along with the dudes, helped me develop my taste in music, my desire to start playing guitar and bass, and to learn more about music and everything. And then also it developed my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, so when we mentioned No Cure for Cancer, I was just like, holy shit. Like all those memories came flooding back immediately.
I got a good chuckle out of karaoke once whenever I did the song Asshole for karaoke.
Oh yeah.
It was very well received. And then some people who were like, "What is this?" They were like, they just didn't realize, but then they loved it anyways. That kind of leads me into a curious question. Since you brought up like your taste in music and stuff, I'm curious to hear about your other guys' taste in music, like how it developed and what you kind of got into and when and stuff. Like I know for me, my older sister definitely influenced my taste in music as well. I mean, there was a lot of 80s stuff. So I got like the 80s pop and stuff. But shit, there was that stuff, and then some 90s country, but then like Nirvana was like my introduction into like the alternative and grudge, and then Brock subsequently and stuff like that. So I kind of fell into it that way. Like started listening to the X or whatever, and then just kind of going from there. It was one thing after another. It was all the 90s alternative and Brock. My parents weren't quite as strict with the well, you can't watch this or can't listen to that. Like I don't know. They like I was led to have a pretty long leash of what I was allowed to do or not do, as long as my parents knew where I was. Like I remember the first CD that I bought that had a parental advisory sticker on it was 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral. And my mind was blown away whenever I listened to that.
Great album.
Depressing at times if in the wrong mood, let me tell you. But you know, hence its name. And I actually that made a debate at one point whenever I was still active duty in the military. I was overseas, and my platoon sergeant tried to argue me down about Johnny Cash's Hurt. And I was like, well, 9 Inch Nails did it better whenever they did it first. He's like, that's a Johnny Cash song. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you, you're absolutely fucking wrong, because if there's one thing I know in my life, it's music. And I'm a big music aficionado. Music and movies, don't fucking argue me. I'll fight you. So, yeah, I was kind of, I definitely got into Eminem and stuff like that in high school too. And I think I went through a phase where it was if it was mainstream, it absolutely sucked. So like that was heavily influenced by one of my buddies who was a big skater, and so he kind of got me into like, you know, the like underground punk scene and stuff like that. And but now I'm all over the place. I have stuff ranging on my iPod from like from Busta Rhymes to Beastie Boys to, you know, Slipknot to throw in some Justin Timberlake. I mean, whatever. I got it all on there, to like tons of video game soundtracks.
Wait a minute, where's Busta?
Where's Busta?
Busta, what it is right now? No. Ransom, what kind of music were you into? Because I think like when you and I were friends, I hadn't really like kind of come into my own taste of music. Like the most I had was being a negative influence on our Bible quiz team, getting Jessica and Carrie to like rap riddle box and stuff from ICP.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I've been to pretty much anything but country, and it's been that way for, I don't know, a long time. And I can't really think of what got me into those different genres of music. No, I don't have a good answer for that, other than
like you don't have any one person that you remember kind of being an influence, like you were like, oh yeah, I remember listening to this with that person or anything like that, or
no, not really.
I
mean, I'm sure I didn't come across all the various musics that I listen to now by accident. You know, I'm sure there were people that turned me on to different things, but you know, I don't know. I can't really remember, but I pretty much listen to anything. I'll listen to anything other than country. I mean, I'm just not a big country fan.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where I'll be like, oh, you're listening? Yeah, I'll get another ride. Like, I'll drive myself. You know, it's not that. I just don't prefer it.
So, note to self, if we're listening to a WWE soundtrack, make sure to put on Be My Baby Tonight on repeat for Ransom. Got it.
No, it's going to be Rapper's Crap. Good job, Kurt Hennig.
Beef?
So the first two albums I ever owned, one was the Dangerous Minds soundtrack.
Dangerous Minds.
And then...
Come on, Beef, lay it out there.
What?
Nothing, go on.
The other was the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Kissed by a Rose.
That's exactly what drew me in. 110%.
The Batman drew you in. Got it.
I was admittedly all over the place with music, and soundtracks were like, okay, it was a great smattering, because if you didn't like any one thing, you know, the next song was going to be different. So it was a good intro. So that said, I probably would attribute my my come to Jesus moment with the dudes as well. Like, Haas got all of us into Metallica, and some of us further than we were otherwise. And so, and then as my palate decided that I was a huge heavy metal fan, which admittedly I am. If it's fucking hard, I want to fucking hear it in my face hole. Face holes, rather. I want to fucking feel that shit in my fucking blood. As the years progressed, our very own Poot the Bard made a lot of wonderful suggestions to me, or like our fucking like trips to the fucking truck stop where we just sit in his car and we just fucking listen to music for like 20 minutes before getting out. That's how I was introduced to bands like Dream Theater and like one of my favorite bands of all time right now, fucking Iron Maiden. So, I mean, Haas really had a lot to do with like founding it, and then after that, you really did a lot with fine tuning it.
Now,
And
I got another question for you in regards to stuff, but go ahead.
well, I wanted to say, man, mine, I could fill a multi-hour podcast with my, and this isn't meant to be an arrogant thing, with my music proclivities, because it literally ranges.
I would expect nothing less, being that you are a musician. So,
well, I mean, it ranges literally. It like my journey was crazy because, like I said,
They're
growing up,
coming
the
Oh,
first, the first, like where my music, everything, like the primordial ooze of it was going to church. I mean, you had to look at notation, and you had to sing, and you had to hear it. But then playing a little bit of piano when I was a kid, and then the biggest influence, honestly, on all of my music, everything, was my parents. Because seriously, anytime I looked at them and said, I want to try blank instrument, they never said no. They were always yes. And I'm so grateful to this day. Like I wanted to play piano because my sister played piano, and we played, and I hate that 88-tooth monster in my later years. But, when I was a kid, I wanted to do it. I did it for a while, and it was fine. Tried saxophone. Didn't go over so well. And then I was given a trumpet. And trumpet stuck with me. And I played it all the way through college. And every once in a while, I'll bust the horn out and play a little bit.
Bust a move.
But as far as, like, my musical tastes, it was, growing up, like I said, I gained an appreciation early for, like, more classically arranged things through church, and then NPR, listening to everything from jazz to classical to bluegrass to country to all that. And then, my sister, my first concert ever was Garth Brooks.
Ooh,
Look, I still hold the statement that man puts on as good of a show as anyone I've ever seen. And I love his music. I still bust out Garth Brooks occasionally on road trips and listen to it. Love it. Mm-hmm. But once I got to high school and I got into Metallica, of course, I went thrash metal is it. So Metallica begat Megadeth. Megadeth begat Slayer, Anthrax, and that whole thing. And then I can pinpoint a couple other times where my musical taste shifted. And when I was taking guitar lessons, my one teacher, Josh Hollis, we were learning theory and all this complex guitar stuff, and he said, "Oh yeah, this is kind of like the thing that Michael Wilton from Queensryche does." And I kind of nodded and went, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "Have you never heard of Queensryche?" And I said, "No." And he literally pulled money out of his pocket, handed it to me, and said, "After you're done here," and I was driving at the time. I started guitar late. I started it when I was 15. So handed me money and said, "Go to the record store in the mall over in Du Bois and buy the album Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche." And again, at that time, I was listening to, like, I'd gotten into shred guitar, like stuff like, Jason Becker, Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, real like technical playing. And he handed me that money, and I went and I found Operation Mindcrime, and I bought it, and it was on sale for $7. And you got to remember, this was in the midst of the new metal thing.
Okay.
So this kind of music was not popular, so CDs were on sale. And I bought it, and I was like, oh, I have money left over. I'll get something to eat from Arby's. So I take Operation Mindcrime and put it in my CD player in my car, and I'm driving home. And that album, I'm never going to forget. It was the first time ever. The album's about an hour and change long, or an hour or so long. And I sat in my driveway with the car running, mouth agape at the music I was listening to.
Nice.
And the topics that were being discussed, and the it's this concept album, and it's like a heroin addict who gets brainwashed to kill powerful political and religious figures, and he's taken care of by a former prostitute turned nun named Sister Mary. And it's this like, the music is incredible to this day, and like it kind of awoke. I was like, what is this music? The next week I went back for my guitar lesson, and he said, did you buy that album? And I said, yes. What other music is like this? And he goes, you've never listened to anything progressive before. And that took me down the road to find, Queensryche, and then probably my favorite band of all time, Dream Theater, and then Fate's Warning. And then that led me back to Pink Floyd, The Who, Dixie Dregs, older progressive music, Frank Zappa. And then that music begat jazz, Miles Davis, the John Pizzarelli Trio, Charlie Mingus, Victor Wooten. It got me into all this music that was out there that I went, holy shit, this is incredible. And then that led me to go to school for music performance. And I was introduced to classical music I never heard, like modern stuff from the 20th century. Charles Ives, Stravinsky, which we've all heard, Rite of Spring. Like, it's the ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And then that led me back further to the Baroque period and hearing where, Yngwie Malmsteen's influences came from. And so now I never balk at music. I'm willing to listen, even pop music, even the newest radio hit. I'm willing to listen to it and be objective about it. Is a lot of current popular music shallow? Indeed. Is it going to stand the test of time? Probably not. Yeah. But I'm sitting here and I'm literally like overjoyed talking about this right now. Like, music is so cool to me, but I'm primarily a metal guy. Like, I got into the, stuff like, Testament and Nevermore. And, I love music. TLDR, I love music.
So you mentioned Garth Brooks was your first concert, so that actually led me into a secondary question. Ransom, what was your first concert you ever went to? Do you remember?
John Mayer.
Really? Okay. Who were you with?
Tara.
Okay.
She was a big John Mayer fan, and she wanted to go see John Mayer, so I said, all right, let's do it. Let's go see John Mayer. That's the one and only concert I've ever been to.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We need to change that, my friend.
Don't shit on John Mayer, dude. Don't sleep on him.
Oh, no. I meant changing it, like getting Ransom out to another concert.
Oh, we should take him to see Slayer. Oh, we can't.
I'm
sure they're going to do another fucking 87 tours before they're done.
Beef, what was your first concert? Do you remember?
I do. It was at the Clearfield County Fair, which, by the way... Well, I'm not gonna fucking go into it, but Clearfield County Fair. It was fucking crisscross.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
My first concert Now, let me paint the picture for you. I'm whatever. I'm somewhere in high school. I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna say sophomore, junior year, maybe. I was still kind of coming out of the like skater phase or whatever, so I was like relaxed skater.
He
but
was
I
a
still
skater
have,
boy.
I was actually. Sadly, I sold my board to one of my best friends, the one that got me into like the underground pop and stuff, or underground punk. I mean, I had a Chad Muska board that I custom ordered from
Ooh.
CCS. That was my one. That was one of the Christmases. Like times were a little tough in the old Tiger Bomb Tom household back in the day, and I said to my parents, I was like, listen, I know things are a little rough this year. I was like, there's only one thing that I want. If you get me any one thing, I want a skateboard. And and I was like, and I had CCS catalog, and I was like, I custom ordered Muska deck, Spitfire wheels, Black Panther bearings, Lucky risers, tents for trucks. I was like, made sure it was this is what I wanted, and I ended up selling that board to one of my best buddies because I needed money the one year to buy school clothes, honestly. And then about a month later, he snapped the tail off while doing a backside tail slide. So I was like, well, at least you made some use of it. But I digress. Around that time, I still had like my baggy Jinko shorts, not like the UFO pants or anything like that, but a decent pair of Jinko shorts, enough to where like I can put a solo cup of beer in the front pocket, which apparently my sister's friends were like tickled pink about. But I was with my sister and we went to out to Star Lake or wherever whatever you know it as, out in Burgettstown, and John Bon Jovi was my first concert out there.
Oof.
It wasn't too bad. I'll tell you what though, I absolutely adore the fact that my current girlfriend has got me into like kind of reawoken my concert going experience, because in the past now like 3 years that we've been dating, I've been to more concerts with her than I have like ever in my whole life. Like even in our first year of dating, we went to so many concerts, and she's the type where she is like, I'm getting in the front row and that's where I'm staying the entire show. It's like, go to the bathroom before the set list starts, because once we get in front, we're not moving. So
okay, well this leads me to a question.
Yeah.
What is a band or a style of music that you're surprised that you like, that you're like, oh wow, I like this? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have to think on that one, because there's not a whole lot that I dislike. I honestly, like, I'd say the only stuff that I dislike is like mumble rap. Like I like rap from back in the 90s. I don't like the new school like auto-tuned stuff like that.
Oh, concerts by Poot the Bar. Welcome to Concert Cast.
No, well, that's fair. I'll lead this off. From playing in Hellbent, you know what? Seriously, what I've gained a super big appreciation for and like actually enjoy, like 80s hair metal, dude. Motley Crue is fucking great.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're great. Like,
you know what? I'll give you a good one. Music that I, not currently, but like at one point that I was surprised that I got into, that I never thought I would, was like oldies, like all the stuff you used to listen to on like 3WS, like Motown and stuff like that. Because riding in the car with my dad growing up, that's all he ever listened to was oldies all the time. And it, like, I was just like, God, I want to listen to something else, like something I wanted to listen to. I hit my 20s or so, absolutely love the shit. Now it's like I go out to karaoke and it's like Dion and the Belmonts, Run Around Sue, and
there you go, man.
Absolutely, I love it. I love that stuff. And then and it's funny because I get looks from old people. They're like, "How do you know this music?" I'm like, "Well, number one, I'm probably older than what you think I am, and number two, I have a very eclectic, taste of music." So,
Beef.
I mean, oh gosh, I too, my palate has really expanded from just fucking metal up your arse.
There's two things we know about Beef from this podcast. It's metal up your ass, and he likes it hard and in his face hole.
Oh,
Fucking get a clue. So
perfect recipient for the tripod.
Wow.
First of all, you fucking
Podcast
you
over.
fucking unintelligible fucks. Metal Up Your Ass was actually Metallica's first like concept album before Kill 'Em All. That never actually came to
We
fruition.
call that an EP.
Yes, but anyway, my point remains that I am fairly eclectic with most music. Probably some like real soft stuff, like fucking like poppy bullshit like Katy Perry, or boy band shit, because I definitely like give off the whole like fucking metal vibe. So like when someone sees me like jamming down the road to fucking Backstreet Boys, it kind of ruins the mystique, as it were.
What's something that surprised yourself there, Ransom? You were like, oh, no, I would never listen to this, and then you find yourself like, even if it's guilty pleasure.
It's that one's an easy one because I'm not a big fan of country. But what surprised me, and I actually have 2 of their albums, is Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and Willie Nelson, The Highwaymen.
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, the
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
Highwaymen.
The Highwaymen. Oh man, I can't remember where I heard. I can't remember where I heard the first song at, but I heard it, and it was the Silver Stallion.
Nice.
And I can't, for the life of me, remember where I heard that song, but I went, "Oh my goodness, I could listen to that song again."
Dude, yeah.
I'm assuming then, like, even though you're not a huge country fan, but you mentioned Johnny Cash. Did you see the movie Walk the Line?
No.
Oh,
It's
you
a pretty good
should.
movie. Go give it a glance. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, I don't have any of these guys' single albums. I don't have any Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash single albums, nothing like that. But the Highwaymen, I've got 2 of their albums, and I listen to them frequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real
What's-
quick before we get off music. I don't mean to step on your toes.
Go ahead.
But real quick, no explanation, Desert Island album. Your album. No explanation, and then we'll move on. I know we've done a lot of music talk right now, but Desert Island album, start with Tiger Mom Tom and come back around to me. Go.
Oh God.
No explanation, just what is it?
Pass. I can't pick one.
You can't do that.
I
What?
can do what I want.
All right,
can't
pass.
pass.
Next, Tiger Bomb Tom, go.
I don't know. Fuck it. Foo Fighters, Sonic Highways.
There you go. All right, Ransom.
Uh,
Oh, Mr. Ed's first album.
I don't. Yikes. Album. Ew. Didn't give me a whole lot of time to think on this, did you? I would probably say Hellbilly Deluxe by Rob Zombie.
Wow, good. God, that's a good one. Beef.
Master of Puppets by Metallica.
That's a good one. I am going to go with 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence by Dream Theater. That's the one I will
Nice.
go for. So, anyone who's listening,
Oh wait, that's different.
listening to this, those albums, if you've never heard them, go give them a listen.
There you go.
There you go. What?
They
I
will
was
be on
gonna-
the test later.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna tie in saying Walk the Line, good movie. A good movie soundtrack. Yeah, again, this might tie into something that you might not think would be like, I don't know, just for the type of movie that it was. But one of the best movie soundtracks I've ever heard, Dirty Dancing.
Yo, great
Fantastic.
one.
Fantastic movie soundtrack. If you even remotely have watched the movie, go back and really just like listen to those songs from that movie. So great stuff. Really great stuff.
That and also Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun has a great soundtrack.
Mortal Kombat, the movie.
Dude, I had
Like-
that. Oh, I wore that
Dude,
CD
you,
out.
You you fucking laugh, but there is so much eclectic bullshit on there. Like, if you are into, like, I don't want to say techno because that's not fucking techno, but, like, you know.
Dude, FTM.
Yeah, exactly. That genre. Industrial, I guess. Industrial digital. It's fucking good stuff.
Dude,
that made me think of, like, back in the day, like, listening to Prodigy, Fat of the Land.
Dude, Prodigy, Static X, Machine in Wisconsin Death Trip.
Oh, my God. Oh, fucking Static X.
Dude,
Good
rip
stuff.
Wayne Static. So good.
Cannot really go wrong with Static X.
No.
I got a funny story about Static X real quick.
All right.
Okay, so this is like back in the day whenever I had like my 5 or 6 CD changer up in my bedroom and like had, you know, I hooked extra speakers up to the CD player, so I had like surround sound in the room.
Tiger
basically.
Baller Tom over here.
No. No, I was lucky, and some of the things that I had were, you know, like it was like, oh, I got this CD player for Christmas, and that was like pretty much.
Oh, dude,
it.
I'm just busting your balls. Like, I get it.
But no, I had the disc changer on, and I had my alarm set, and you know I'd wake up to whatever music was, you know, in the disc changer that morning. So the one morning I woke up, and it just so happened that Static X's Wisconsin Death Trip was the CD that was in, and that first note from Push It hit at like, you know, 6 in the morning, and I was still like I heard the CD player like, you know, rotate. I heard the and I'm like, okay, I gotta get up, and because I had
Matrix printer.
Yeah, I had this shit up pretty loud to make sure that I woke up because I'm a heavy sleeper. Fucking Push It hits, and I hear I was like, I about fucking pissed myself and had a heart attack. Fell out of bed. I was like scrambling for the remote for the CD player. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna wake up the entire goddamn neighborhood.
It could have been worse if it were only a few songs earlier to fucking get to the gone. Like that note, and that fucking the scream and the drums.
That's
go.
on Machine, brother.
Oh,
That's track 2 on Machine.
Is it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's Machine.
No, wait. Get with the gone.
Get to the gone.
Get to the gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's track 2 on
Machine.
Machine.
Death Trip.
No,
that's Machine.
Okay.
Huh.
dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, fuck me.
That's
Yeah,
what they
but-
opened
Yes,
with.
indeed.
That's what they opened with when we went to see them.
But yeah, man, that having Push It, the first notes of Push It, the just the bass drum, and then like I about had a fucking heart attack, and I'm like, I'm too young to die. I'm only in high school. Like
I'm pushing really, really hard for Hellbent to do either Push It or Get to the Gone.
definitely do Push It.
Dude, could Chris do Get to the Gone?
No, but I could.
Oh, okay.
And
All right, listen, shut up. Speaking of Static X, favorite Static X song of all time, go.
I honestly, I hate to cop out and say Push It, but that's just one that it just fucking gets me riled up. So I'm gonna say Push It. Close second is Cold.
Cold is so
Cold
good.
is so good.
Yeah.
Fucking, I love December. I love STEM. Honestly, I'll probably have to go with Get to the Gone, man. That's a great tune. But you know what? Don't sleep on Cannibal. Like, that album, the Static X album, Cannibal, is fucking amazing. Like, start to finish, it's got good stuff the whole way through.
Somehow I missed out on any other albums. I only had Wisconsin Death Trip and Machine. So
Shadow Zone's a good one, dude.
I'm gonna, you know what,
Okay.
Ransom, I got to give you top 3. Push It's number 1, and a close tie for second and third is Cold and This Is Not Me.
For me, well, I Ransom, not trying to extend it, but like I feel like top 3 is behoovant of this moment. Number 3 for me would probably be Love Dump.
Good one.
Number 2 would probably be Cold. And number 1 is Get to the Gone. I'm with Beef on that one. Get to the Gone, to me, that was the first Static X I heard. Again, it's that impact of the first track is that weird polka thing, and then out of nowhere you hear, go! And I go,
Yep.
and I immediately fell in love.
Yeah.
It's the brutality of it and the immediacy of it. Like the visceral nature of Wayne Static's voice can't be replicated. Always replicated, never duplicated. I'm looking at you, Zero.
So if I'm talking, I've heard he does a passable job.
No, he does. He does do a very good job. I will say that, but often duplicated,
imitated.
never replicated. That's the way it goes. Or often replicated, never duplicated. Whatever it is.
Top 3, I would probably go. Yes, definitely Get to the Gone number 1. I would probably put. Oh, man, I hate to do it, but I would probably put December up in there too because
it's cool.
It's a real funky tune from them, and then I would probably have Cannibal as number 3.
Cannibal's a
Like
good
the
tune.
song Cannibal.
What about you, Ransom?
Number 3 would be Cold. Number 2 would be Black and White.
Oh, good.
And number 1 would be Shadow Zone.
All right. Look,
Nice.
I'll stand by you on that. I think Shadow Zone Beef. I'm sorry, we could argue on this, but I don't think we should. We could go for so long. I think Shadow Zone is better than Cannibal.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
It was so. I don't know. Like I don't
No,
want to.
are you talking about the song Beef, or are you talking about the album?
The album? The album.
Okay.
To me, that's kind of like their Shadow Zone was kind of like their Black album, in that was like their hey everybody, Static X is a thing. Everybody listen to them. Go. And they did a lot of yeah, exactly. Yeah, except for not quite. So they did a lot of like stuff that I don't want to say outside their wheelhouse, but it was stuff that was not on Machine or Wisconsin Death Trip. And then I think that Cannibal was more of a return to form, and I know that there were CDs in between there, but
CDs. You're showing your age.
Yeah,
I know, right? Albums.
Hey, you really want to show age? I remember having Nirvana's Nevermind on cassette.
Woohoo.
Yeah, and I remember recording episodes of Renegade Radio with Ransom on cassette.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So to kind of still keep it in the vein of music, but kind of shifting a little bit, I gotta say, so just recently, and I know Beef mentioned it very, very briefly, but I did finish up Final Fantasy VII Remake, and obviously I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything, but I gotta say, they did a phenomenal job with that soundtrack and kind of like remixing the old tunes and stuff so far.
Dude, you just gave me goosebumps. Like
which one?
That's the one big thing I can say.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a message on my phone. I wasn't paying attention. What are we talking about?
Okay. Final Fantasy VII Remake. They've done such a good job with remastering that. And I gotta say, like, I remember the first time I heard the Advent Children version of One Winged Angel. Like I went over to my buddy's house, and yeah, we were sitting there, and he's like, "Dude, you got to listen to this." And I hear the beginning, the beginning drums and stuff, and the chords of One Winged Angel, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, the separato." And he's like, "No, just wait." And then like the guitar kicked in and stuff, and it was like my mind was blown. And then like the guitar solo that's in the Advent Children version was like fucking phenomenal. Like I get goosebumps just talking about it right now. But that game has such a great soundtrack, and like the collectionist and completionist I am, I had to make sure that I went around and collected all the music discs like that you can find in the game and stuff like that, because I was like, this is right up my alley. I was like, I want to listen to every song in this game. So that's something you get to look forward to, Beef. I don't know how far you are into it.
I haven't touched it since last Sunday because I don't want to give the game less than it deserves. So I'm only going to sit down and play it whenever I have 3 or 4 hours to kill, because I know I'm going to get drawn in. So and plus I'm going to take my time because this is the entire reason I bought a PS4. So like Spider-Man's going to be a nice number 2. But this is the reason I got the PS4. So I've noticed that off the bat, like I hear the tunes and it gives me the warms and the warm and fuzzies, and then like it kind of remixes them so masterfully. It's amazing. Like so far, it's amazing, and especially the music was like the first thing that I fucking noticed was like, man, they got the original tunes, but they got new vibes in them. So
how far into it are you right now?
I think I just started chapter 5, where they're going to blow up the second reactor.
Gotcha.
Spoilers.
Listen, man, first of all, if you're interested, you probably played the original game, so you know how the original game went. Second of all, I didn't even say fucking shit, so
No, I'm just being sarcastic because like I am overjoyed for people who love that game and are finally getting the remake they deserve. I am overjoyed for you all. The problem is I have no emotional connection to that game or that series. So to me, I like just sitting back and hearing people pontificate upon how much it draws out emotions from them.
Oh yeah, dude. I gotta tell you, if you get a chance to, just even go, just go on YouTube after we're done here and listen to and look up, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
No, I have. Okay, I can't say I sat and watched Advent Children, but I was in a room with another person, and it was on ancillarily when I was in college.
Okay,
We'll put it that way.
Get a chance, like not even watching the movie, just go listen to One Winged Angel, the Sephiroth song.
Oh, I've heard it.
You've heard the Advent Children version.
Epic.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm gonna say this, Beef. There's enough that they've done in this remake to kind of fill in between big events and stuff like that. I think you're gonna be, I think you're definitely gonna be pleased with the way the game goes and stuff. And
I'm in love with it already. Like there's no ifs ands or buts. Like there's
enough to do that you're gonna have replay value. Like especially more so like if you're a completionist. I think it's one of those things like the replay value is pretty high. And for me, like I'm going through on hard mode, and it's a fun ride so far. No,
do you play with the classic combat or do you play with like the
normal?
Okay, so you play like the I have yet to touch the classic combat. I really want to. Like I'm very intrigued with how it could be. I've
heard
I've
heard it's worse. If somebody described it the right way to me, like you don't have as much control over the other characters or whatever. Like which
was basically the way that it was, at the beginning, like the first one. Well, that's not true. I guess you got to rotate through characters. So
no, it's the classic controls does not make it like turn based again. It's more so like you, from what I was told, I think you control Cloud, but like anybody else that's with you, like you don't switch control over to them. Like you can issue them commands, I believe, but like you don't switch over to them, which I don't like because the way the active combat style is, it actually pays to switch back and forth between characters because you might have an enemy that's like targeted on whoever you're currently controlling. Like if you're controlling Cloud, their attention's going to be more drawn to you, and then you could have a character on the other side of them. Like you switch over real quick and like do an attack to the back and stuff like that, and kind of shift the enemy focus back and forth so they're not always just beating the shit out of one person or another. So it definitely serves as a good strategy if you go back through and play it on hard because it's a little added challenge. So no items, no MP regeneration on the benches. Oh yeah. I
no items.
No items.
Huh. No. Okay.
Yeah. So all those ethers and all those potions and stuff that you're collecting, hard mode, chuck them out the window. I thought it was gonna be a lot more difficult than what it was, but I did all the side questing and I leveled myself out to like level 50 before I got to the very end of the game with like everybody, and maxed out as much stuff as I could. But I'm going back through and had to replay chapters because there's certain things you have to play on hard mode. It's basically like all the different those manuscripts and stuff that you get for like leveling up your weapon.
Okay.
You'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
So enough of the nerd talk on that.
Something just popped into my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to start this out directing it at Ransom. You're down the barrel right now, buddy.
Pass.
No, you're not passing. I think you'll like this one. $1 million, but...
$1 million.
$1 million, but you have to give up your favorite video game of all time. Not that you can't ever play it. It never existed. So, before you answer this, you have to consider the ramifications of how it affects the timeline of video games going forward. Ransom, $1 million, but you have to give up your favorite video game. It never existed.
Done. $1 million.
Cool. All right. That was easy enough.
I mean, I like video games, but it's a pleasurable pastime, but it doesn't consume that much of my life where it's like, oh, if this game never existed, I am donezo.
Now, hold on.
My life is just... Shut the hell up. I'm talking.
Okay.
I did barrel down on him, Beef. Let him go.
So no, there's plenty of things. There's plenty of other games in the world other than Halo. If I'm going to boil it down, that's probably going to be the one I'd have to give up because that's the one that I consistently go back to the most. And now before, anybody gets in on the, well, think of the times that you had with the friends in the hoop. Kiss my ass. We would have found something else to play. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Are playing Halo some of the greatest times with Beef and Poot and the Ironworks crew that I've got. Yeah, I mean those were great times. But if Halo never existed, we would have found something else. My relationship with people are not strictly based upon that game. My friendships go deeper than that one game. So we would have found something else to play easily.
All right. Beef.
So, oh boy. Maybe? I don't know, man. I will claim that Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. And that's why I'm tickled fucking pink to be playing it now. The remake and fucking crystal clear high definition where, and all that. But, so, I played that at a time in my life where things could have gone many other ways. I'm not saying I would have gotten into drugs or anything, nothing like that. But those are my formative years. And that game gripped me in a way that nothing else, that no other game really has. And I've spent a lot of time in other games, probably a lot more time in other games, like Fallout 3, Fallout 76. So it's not like it's about the time. It's about the emotional the gravitas, if you will. So that said, I feel like if I never would have played Final Fantasy VII, if it never would have existed, that maybe I don't have such an affinity for video games, and who knows where my life would have been with or without that. So, that's an interesting query, for fucking certain. I would probably still take the money, because much like Ransom mentioned, there's always going to be other fish in the sea, but it's a lot tougher than all that, I think.
Tiger Bomb.
I'm kind of with Beef on that one. I would probably take the money, and only for the fact that it's so hard for me to narrow down my choice of video games that I have one all-time favorite. I have enough games that I consider favorites that if I had to lose one of them, that they never existed, again, I would probably find something else that grabbed my attention. Like I never got to play The Last of Us when it first came out because I didn't have a PS3 at that point or whatever. But when was it? Let's see. I've been streaming for like 2 years now. So last year or whatever, I played The Last of Us for the first time, and it instantly became like one of my top 10 favorites. So there's always room for another game to impress me and grip me. Like, I mean, that game definitely fucking it hit all the marks, storyline, action, everything like that. And for me, I definitely, I have certain requirements to hit that top 10. So I would probably take the money, just because I feel like that there would be enough other games that I would be impressed with too. What about you, Poot?
I really wanted to say, and I was sitting here assuming that it was going to be Binding of Isaac is my favorite game of all time. And the difference, like, for Ransom, you took it for from a sociological standpoint, and I like that. Like, that's great that you associate video games with good times with your friends. That's awesome. For me, it's more like the factor of a comfort, like a security blanket kind of thing. It's a game I can always play and always enjoy and always be entertained. And if I'm having a bad day, that will be okay. If nothing else, it's something I can anchor myself with, if that makes sense. However, if I'm being dead honest, Binding of Isaac would not be my favorite game of all time. My favorite game of all time would be Super Mario Bros. 3. And I don't know if I would take the money, because not only did that game really affirm my love for video games, and yeah, video games drift in and out of my transom throughout my life, but it's always something I can sit down and enjoy. Like, even right now, I'm kind of in a little bit of a lack of video gaming due to my kind of push forward on my guitar building and pickup winding thing. But Mario 3, I associate so much with really, like, so many good times, so many frustrating times as well. But it was also a game, I fired it up on the Switch Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
And the first note of that music, my mother was sitting at the computer, and she heard it, and she goes, Mario 3. And she goes, I remember sitting and watching you play that game for hours, and I remember my sister playing, as Luigi, and it was a way that, like, the first thing that was, like, mine. Video games were mine. You know what I mean? It was the thing that I loved. It wasn't something I went, oh, my parents love that, or oh, my friends love that, or oh, my sister likes that. Video games were mine.
Same.
And to have people who don't like video games and don't get video games sit and watch and be entertained, and also participate in and have fun and make that connection on a different level than we already had, to me, that's a priceless thing. So I don't know if I would take the money, because that game was so important to me on many different levels. So there's the first introduction to $1 Million But for this episode. Anyone else got a good one?
Well, that was
I don't. Why don't you keep going, Poot? You're good at bringing these up.
All right, let's see what's going to come out of old Pooter's head here. Said
good.
my ex-girlfriend. $1 Million But.
Wow.
Deep cut.
Deep cut. $1 Million But. Every time that you wake up and stand up, like you turn out of bed, you're sitting on the edge of the bed and go, okay, time to face the day. the first thing that happens is you have to chase your shoes down. Like, they run away from you. Like, you get ready, you brush your teeth, you put your clothes on, you wash your face, the old shit shower shave if you have the time in the morning. But when you get ready to leave the house, you have to chase your shoes down. Every morning for the rest of your life.
And this $1 million is only a one-time thing.
It's a one-time deal. You get $1 million in the bank, untaxed, done. You have $1 million in the bank, but every morning you have to chase your shoes down.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, yes, because I would be smart enough to eventually build a box or something to trap them in, because why not? So yeah.
Oh, your shoes are crafty though, Tom.
Yeah, they're magic shoes, man.
They are magic shoes.
Magic shoes. You know what? Fuck it. Why not? Let's get a little cardio in the morning. It would get me to start exercising more, because I certainly haven't been during this fucking
all right,
during this shit.
You know what? I'm gonna add a caveat to this.
Okay.
Every morning they have the different profile of a different athlete.
Oh God.
One morning, it could be a power lifter who has shitty cardio, and you just walk over and grab them, or it could be Usain Bolt.
Oh fuck.
So, do you want to be late to work and get fired because, sorry, boss, I had to chase down my fucking shoes?
You know what? I'm still gonna go with yes, because yeah, I'm just gonna go with yes, because I would find some sort of loophole. Like I would, if I couldn't chase those down, then I'd stop and buy a fucking cheap pair at Walmart or something for that day. I'd have $1 million. So I mean,
no, those are still your shoes. They'd run from you, cowboy. You got to catch them. If they're your shoes, you got to catch them. The second that you pay for those shoes, they get up and run off.
No, you could steal them. Technically not yours.
You could.
They're in your possession. They're yours. Not getting out of this
Magic
loophole.
shoes.
Not getting out of this loophole.
Possession is not 9/10 of the law.
Oh, yes, it is, cowboy, in any other situation.
All right. I'm just gonna go with yes. Fuck it, why not? For the era of comedies that it would ensue. Poot.
Oh, absolutely not. My cardio's garbage. It's trash. Hell no. Oh, you know what? No, wait, no. You know what? Yes, I would do it. I'll take the money. And if I wake up one morning and my shoes are extra crafty, I'd be like, fuck you. And I'd leave the house and I'd just go barefoot.
Nice. Beef.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to catch anything but a fucking cold. So.
Or the COVID.
It doesn't matter if you're late for work because you work from home, so.
Well, that is true.
What do you need shoes for?
I don't really need shoes per se.
I've seen the bottom of your feet. They're pretty much shoes.
Hobbit feet.
Well, am I wrong, though?
I mean...
You don't have luscious, soft lady feet. You've got hobbit feet.
You can be not wrong and still be an asshole. So.
Oh, well, I apologize.
Hashtag hurtful.
Hashtag wet for Hogan.
Oh, God. That's a fucking callback.
Callback. It's a show. Go back and listen.
I probably would. And yeah, I mean, if it gets to it, like I got $1 million, I don't need to fucking go to work today. So, yeah, I would take the money.
Ransom.
Yeah, that's an easy yes for me, because I'm all about working out these days. I have been walking consistently since we started the first Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast this evening.
Oh wow!
And I am up to 2,713 calories burned so far today. So A, yes, because that's definitely going to help me get my cardio in. And B, let's face it, if I got $1 million in, I'm not working my same job. I'm going to find a work from home job, even if it pays less, because I can afford that. So if it's one of those days where I wake up and I'm extra whipped, If I don't feel like chasing the shoes, I don't feel like chasing the shoes. I'm working from home. So yes.
here's the caveat that I'll say. If we're including like slippers and that in it, I'm gonna say no, because
I don't
like,
wear slippers. That's fine with me.
as a diabetic, my feet get real fucking cold. So like slippers are a constant part of my footwear routine. So like if slippers, because they're technically my work shoe. So if we're talking that, I would probably say no.
Just buy thick socks, dude. You got $1 million. You could buy a nice pair of thick socks that'll keep your little tootsie toes warm. You don't need slippers.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we're talking about anything that I put on my feet during the day, that is either aid me walking or keep them warm, I'm gonna say no.
You could hire Tiger Bombs.
Poot didn't say slippers or socks.
You could.
That's fair.
And we've all answered now, so we can't go back and addend.
Right.
Unless we're gonna pose a brand new question, and then that changes everything.
All right. Does anyone else have one, or do you want me to keep drawing things out of my brain?
I got one.
No, man. Okay.
$1 million, but your hands and your feet are switched.
Oh my God, yes.
Now you don't have to walk on your, or I mean, you don't, you know what I mean? Like if your hands are now feet, you don't have to try to finagle trying to walk upside down on what are now feet.
Oh yeah.
But it's going to be the same, same receptacles as you got now. So like, if you bend down, put all of your weight that you can on your hands, on gravel. Yeah.
Oh man, stop trying to
That's
sell.
what you're walking on.
Dude, stop trying to sell me on this. I'm sold.
Oh, okay, good enough.
I'm on. Give me that $1 million.
Fucking crazy Poot. No. I
love how much of a hard no this is. But whenever it's like, beef, chase your shoes, and you're like, like.
Well, as has been well documented, my feet aren't exactly the best, so I can't imagine like taking away like tactile response, like the being able to feel things, being able to touch things. Hell, being able to put my fucking hand on my foot on a burner and knowing if it's hot or cold, like that's gonna take a little bit longer than what it would with my hands. So yeah, I mean that's even a safety fucking issue. So yeah, no.
Tom.
I don't know, but I'm just gonna go with no. Just given my profession, I definitely need my hands. Like
that's very true.
Well, I mean, like no, you still use your hands as hands, only they're attached to your legs. So when you're playing video games, your taint is right up there facing the TV because you're holding that controller with your hands.
What the fuck is his name from the pod racing?
Sebulba.
Sebulba. Ugh.
So I mean, you can still use your hands as hands, but they're just connected to legs.
Well, it would be highly, I'm gonna guess, inconvenient and inappropriate with my work. So I'm gonna go with no.
That's fair. Okay. Sidebar, really quick here. Ransom.
Wait. Ransom.
Oh yeah, Ransom. What about you?
I would say no, just for the inconvenience factor. Like anything, $1 million is good, but that's not going to cover me for the rest of my life. So I'm going to need some sort of profession. And let's face it, it's probably going to be on a computer.
What?
Sideshow
Freak doesn't work for you?
No, I'm probably going to do a work from home job. So I just imagine the inconvenience of trying to hoist myself. Well, then you get good at yoga because you'd have to really learn to contort yourself to use hands coming out of your legs as on like a keyboard and stuff. Nah, I'd still say no. That's too weird.
All right. Sidebar on this then. Ransom talking about being fit and burning all the fucking calories in the universe.
Still going.
No, and that's the thing is that like
2750.
This is the kind of work ethic of Ransom is that like when he puts his mind to something, he goes, I'm going to do it. And he does it. He doesn't hem and haw. He just grits his teeth and fucking does it. If like, but him sharing his, through his little Apple Watch, and tracking his metrics and all that stuff. I realized I started doing my DDP yoga again. I've been on it for about, 2.5 weeks now again. And it's an ass kicker. It's a whole bunch of ass kickery. And it's definitely making me go, I can't wait till the gym opens so I can go pick things up and put them down. But because I love that. And, like, I'd rather do that. But the yoga is going actually surprisingly well now that I've kind of broken through the beginning thing. I also went, okay, how else can I make this better? And it's trying to make smarter decisions with my diet, which portion control's never been a problem for me. It's just the quality of what goes in. And now, the older that I am, because when you're younger, you can just shovel bullshit into your system and you're fine. But now the older I am, dude, garbage in, garbage out. I'm telling you. Like, the one day I did my eggs thing, I had high protein lunch, did my yoga, felt like $1 million, took a shower, I took on the universe. The one day I was like, okay, it's a yoga day. I'm going to go and I'm going to get a turkey sandwich from Arby's. And I had it sit and did my yoga, felt great, ate that sandwich. The whole day I felt logy. So I decided to keep track of myself and keep myself, keep myself in check. I picked up myself one of them there Fitbit Versus to keep myself on track and make sure to keep myself accountable to myself, because it's really easy to lie to yourself. It's really easy. Oh my
goodness, yes it is.
But that sumbitch will keep you honest.
And that's the thing. Like this, that's what's really helping me here, Poot, is this Apple Watch, because like I look at it throughout my day and go, oh, I'm so far behind. Like I got a lot to do to catch up. Or, like I look at it like, damn, I'm going pretty well. Like, whew, it just maybe like a little workout here, 15 or 20-minute work here, whammo. I'm closing my exercise ring. I'm closing my calorie ring. It's working well.
Yeah, it like I said, it keeps you accountable. But that was just a little fun sidebar I wanted to throw in there. And I'm going to throw this one out there, and I'm then going to go and relieve my bladder. All right. Before I throw this out, does anyone else have another one?
I don't have another one, but I want to say something real quick from what you said there about the exercise and the portion control and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The COVID, there are good and bad things about this COVID. I will say that.
So
one of the best things is this working from home. This has been by far the best time of my work career in any job ever, is having to work from home. I freaking love it. And another one is, I'm not going to work and I'm not coming home from work. I'm not really going anywhere because, trying to do the right thing. So, I don't stop at Sheetz or Get Go or anything like that. I'm not picking up Red Bulls, Frappuccinos, pop. I'm not drinking any of that. And I've noticed that when I stopped doing that, for the first week and a half, I pretty much got headaches every day. And then after that, they dropped. Now, I would get headaches probably, I would say on average 2 to 3 times a week. And this has been going for years, 2 or 3 times a week, I'd probably get a headache. They range in severity, but, it was enough to where I would either take Excedrin. Since I have stopped drinking shit and I've stopped eating garbage, I have not gotten one headache.
Dude, and beef can corroborate this for me. Years ago, I stopped drinking soda. A couple years ago, when I really got into the lifting thing, I stopped drinking soda. I cut out sugar. Yeah, okay, occasionally I'll have a donut or I'll have something here or there. But I cut soda out of my diet, and even beef. When I started drinking coffee, when we used to go to the truck stop, how did I take my coffee?
Black? No. You used to take it super fucking sugary and brown and with milk and creamer. And...
Oh yeah, I used to do that, and then I slowly got rid of that and got rid of it. Now, dude, I have not drank anything but black coffee. I would safely say 10 years. I can't drink coffee that's not just black coffee. I can't. like frappuccinos, or even like you go to the like Dunkin' Donuts and you go like, oh, give me the, you know, flavor swirl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where it's not sugar, it just adds flavor to it. Dude, in my opinion, coffee should be water, coffee beans, and fucking misery. That's what it should be. Like, that's what it should
Misery.
be. Like,
Well, that's what it is.
No, and I love my coffee black. Like, it's bracing. It's
Can't
so
do it.
good. Well, but that's me though, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you look at my diet on a general day-to-day basis, you look at me and you go, oh, that guy must inject liquid Snickers into his veins on a daily basis. But like
food.
food. But like
Food.
I don't. Like I don't. Like people say, "Hey, let's go to Chinese buffet." I'm like, I get a plate and that's it. And like other people are slathering on the plates and stuff, and I go like, "Dude, what do you like? I can't." And they're like, "Why aren't you eating?" I'm like, "I ate."
Because of
you know,
all
and
the carbs.
like everybody else, there are days, you know, on the weekend you wake up on a Saturday and you go, you know what, I want a burger, and you go get a burger.
Oh, hell
But
yes.
like, dude, seriously. But the thing is, when you don't eat that shit on a regular basis, it makes when you go out and get that burger with like bacon and cheese and shit on it, or when you go and get a pizza, or whatever, you know, your vice, your cheat meal food is, it makes it that much more special.
Oh,
like-
I tell you, the hardest thing for me in all of this has been like sweets. You know, I'm a fiend. That's my weakness right there. It's not fast food or pizza, burgers, steak, whatever. My weakness is sugar.
Or pizza
And,
burgers.
like cake, brownie, cookies, ice cream. Oh,
Dude,
I'm such a fiend for that, and I haven't had any of that since I started this. And I had a moment of weakness today, and I had one Oreo.
felt
and let
like
me
shit,
tell ya,
didn't you?
No, I didn't. I didn't feel like shit, but that was the best tasting Oreo that I have ever had in my life. Because it's been since what, May 5th?
Yeah.
I started this nonsense on May 5th. And I've been going like, I'm hardcore into it, you know, like I'm eating right. I'm trying to do like portion control was always my problem. It wasn't garbage in. It was portion control. Like if we would, you know, we make all of our own stuff. Well, like we make our own dinner. So like if we made like spaghetti or meatloaf, something like that, it's not necessarily trash food, but the portion control was my problem.
It's
like,
carbs, bro.
I'd have 2 bowls of spaghetti because I love spaghetti. So portion control is hard, but the sweets are the hardest thing. Like, I would strangle somebody right now for a blizzard. From Dairy Queen.
Like, but I guess that's the juxtaposition between people, because like for me, sweets, giving up sweets, like every single time I have a donut or a candy bar or brownies or whatever, after I eat it, I feel like garbage. But to be fair, it's because I pretty much cut sugar out of my diet years ago.
Yeah.
So when I have it, my body goes, "The fuck is this?"
Right.
So
But-
speaking
The
from
hell are you doing here?
I
the
was gonna say
medically necessary.
Yeah.
So I'm doing very bad because, you know, COVID snacking is a thing. So it's like, hey,
boredom eating.
Yeah, well, it's not even boredom eating, because nothing has really changed about my life except for I'm hanging out with my wife more. But like, you know,
Get that cardio in.
yeah, well, we're working on it, but I've regressed,
That
and I
ship has
really
sailed.
need to. No. That's not exactly true either. We're trying. It's difficult, man, because it really is tough to get that motivation. But real talk, like I have not had a full flavored soda in 3 years now. I started and so like I'll drink Mountain Dew Zero, which is no carbs, no sugar, It's probably, still not the best for me, but whatever. I'm not a fucking gargoyle, Like,
Fucking
I'm a
aspartame
creature-
kills, buddy.
Yeah, well, so does fucking sunlight, so does fucking,
True.
over gymming, so does fucking over walking. So everything's gonna fucking kill you. Pick your poison.
Jim Fix.
Literally.
Remember Jim Fix did a jogging video and died of a
Exactly.
massive heart attack
When he was fucking jogging, what did you expect? It was two smokers found him. Wow, what a fucking tragedy. Let's go have a smoke.
Some butts. Nom, 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 nom.
Nom,
So,
nom,
like,
nom, nom. Wait, I'll get nine tracheotomies. I'll be tracheotomy man. He can smoke a pack at a time. He's tracheotomy man.
Oh my!
All right, go on, Beef.
but like I strongly believe that you do need to have times where you do reward yourself. Like I had a mini blizzard the other night. It was an Oreo blizzard, so it was not my favorite. But it was good, and I have them, probably once every couple of months, if that. So like it's definitely something where I have to like pick and choose. But yeah, man, like I've gotten like way worse than what I should be doing because I learned that hey, I can, I can eat X, Y, and Z and still not be over on sugar.
Oh, I've
And
got
so
wiggle room. Yeah.
Exactly. And so once I knew they had wiggle room, like, oh well, this, and this. So like I definitely need to get back to form with that because I was doing real well there for a hot minute. But yeah, when I dropped soda and like all sugary drinks from my lineup. I dropped like 30 pounds in like 2 or 3 months. It was a real quick drop. So
It was a stark change. Seriously.
That's my biggest vice for me is giving up pop. Like I did for a while actually whenever I was first going through massage school and stuff, and I did real well. I mean, granted, I was still putting stuff in my body that wasn't fantastic, like the Propel waters and stuff. They aren't the greatest.
No.
But it was, objectively it was better than, knocking back, bottles of Pepsi or Cherry Coke or whatever. But that's I'd say that's my biggest vice right there is pop. I need to cut that out. It's hard though because I think I don't know if it's caffeine withdrawal or not, but there are some days where I'm just like I was some days I'll be fine and I'm like I can have like one can of pop and I'm good. And other days where I'm like super stressed, I'm just like fuck it, I'll reward myself with another one. Like, so I don't know. I need to wean myself off.
The one for me, and I didn't say my vice. Like it's not sugar, it's not any of those things, dude. For me, it's savory. It's like Doritos. Oh, dude!
You know what, dude? Dude, I'm surprised. I gave up a couple different things like Doritos. I don't eat Oreos like hardly at all anymore. And honestly, and not a bad thing. Like I can thank my girlfriend for that. Like I think the last time I had Oreos was actually back at Christmas time because she'll make them. She does. She'll do a whole bunch of cookies at Christmas time. She makes them basically for everybody else. She'll do chocolate covered Oreos. Like she'll get the good like Ghirardelli chocolate, and she has like she has the pan or whatever that like floats in the water, so you like boil the chocolate and it doesn't burn or whatever. I don't know what the fuck the technical name of it is, but she gets the good Ghirardelli chocolate. She has like a little wire slotted spoon to like dip them down in, and then we put sprinkles on them and stuff like that. She does, hold on. I know, food porn.
Ransom's like, stop! My dick can only get so hard.
Gross.
Oh yeah, I'm getting lightheaded. I'm getting lightheaded now.
She does those, and then like regular chocolate covered pretzels. But what she discovered recently, this last time she did it for Christmas, because I had it was like the little peanut butter nuggets, the little peanut butter filled pretzels or whatever. She did those chocolate covered. I was like, yep, that's it. That like every Christmas I'm gonna be like, I'm fucked.
Dude, well but that's the thing, it's seasonal. Like for me, and this is something that I will stand absolutely true on. I will stand by. My father made this statement, and I think it makes sense as long as you can control it. So my sister is, by a wide margin, one of the best bakers in the world. I don't care what anyone says. Fuck professionals. My sister is the best baker in the world. She
brownies
makes,
or it didn't happen.
Yo, I will ask her very nicely if she will make you a batch of her chocolate chip cookies. I'm
know
gonna
my
say,
address.
I'm gonna say one word, and it's gonna change your mind and make you go, "Yeah, she's the best." Ready? Crisco. Like
I'm telling you, I want to believe you, but I'm standing here with no proof in my hand. So I don't know what to say.
I will. No, whenever all this COVID garbage settles down and I can make it down yonder, I will definitely have a batch, and you can try one and tell me if I'm lying. But I'm going to tell you
there's
something.
FedEx, man. You can FedEx it.
My dad made a really good statement. Like, for me, that's the thing when it comes to sweets. I can forego candy bars. I can forego any store-bought anything. Other people's homemade anything, I can forego. Absolutely, I can. However, when my sister makes either her chocolate chip cookies or she makes a Toll House pie, which is basically like cookie in a pie form,
Lord.
or what was the other thing she makes that I just go, okay, sold. When she does,
Look, hey, Pooh,
whatever.
But sorry to cut you off here, but my Bluetooth headset is about to die.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So I'm going to go ahead and say my goodbyes and bounce off this podcast here for you, fellas.
No! Sounds like your problem. All right. Ransom, this was fun. I didn't think we were long for this world, but my point was, for me, my dad said, when he would go to his doctor, because my dad has diabetes and heart problems. Ransom, you still there?
No, he left.
Oh, he left? Okay, he's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sad that we lost Ransom. Everyone, rip Ransom. All right, cool.
Rip
Anyway,
Ransom.
but the thing was, my dad said it best. He told his heart doctor. He told him, he said, "Listen, doc, if it's the difference between me living one more day, and not like, hey, tomorrow you're going to die, but in the grand scheme of things, if it's the difference between living one more day or not or having one of my daughter's chocolate chip cookies, I'll have that chocolate chip cookie." Like,
a fun little thing. If you ever get if you ever have a plate of cookies or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody does, if you guys have done this or have heard somebody do it, but put a piece of bread in the middle of the plate. It actually will keep the cookies from getting stale and hard, even if you have them covered up.
Oh,
the bread will get hard.
Look, cowboy.
Yep.
No, that I appreciate that, but I'm going to tell you something. Never once, even if they've sat, have my sister's cookies gotten stale.
Well, that's good. No, that's good.
And but that's Tom,
little life hack. That's all.
that's a great life hack. Piece of bread in the
Yeah.
But no, we've talked about our things. Ransom talked about his journey. Beef talked about dealing with the diabetes, which I'm gonna say very publicly. Beef, I'm very proud of you because you made a very quick shift in your lifestyle whenever you were told about your diabetes, and you didn't look back.
Thanks, man. I try. Like I said, there's a backsliding here and there, but for the most part, I'm trying to make better decisions with my life and not be a general fuck ass. So
well, you're doing a good job at not being a fuck ass, which is a rarity, but you're doing it. No, joking aside, seriously, kudos to you because not many people could make that change, and go, okay, tomorrow we're starting this, and stick to it. But my point was here, Tom, we've talked about, you're like, oh, I can't go without this food, or oh, I can't do this.
Yeah.
What's your health journey been like? You're in the sense of I've talked about for me, I've always been a big guy. And when I started, I for a couple years, it was 2.5 years, I lifted and it was damn near every day. I was really into it. And then I can't remember what caused me to stop. I think it was depression. Oh, it was over a girl. Ugh. Yeah. Cause I was no matter how fit I get or no matter how hard I try and better myself, I'll never be good enough. And I went spiraling downward. Yeah, I was dumb. But regardless, and then getting back into it, I always kept trying to kickstart, but I would try and go back to doing what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go from 0 to 60. You can't.
Right.
You got to ease back into it, and I'm not a very patient human being, so I didn't want to do that. So my point with all this was like, you being in the military, obviously you had to be, pretty fit to handle that. Yeah. But even like before that, like, I mean, have you ever wrestled with like weight or your health or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for the longest time, I always have been comparatively like the small fry of the group. I've always been the one that people wouldn't fuck with though, because I had that dad mentality, or I had the mentality of like, I don't care if I'm the smallest dog in the fight. I got the biggest fight of anybody in this pack sort of mentality. Like not necessarily a Napoleon complex. Like I didn't have to go out and prove myself, but people just like, my friends knew like, okay, yeah, like you might have a little bit of size on him, but he's a wiry fucker, and he'll probably, he'll probably choke me out and put me down on my back like in a heartbeat.
What's the thing from Fight Club? Skinny guys fight till they're burger.
Exactly, man. So I've always struggled, and I know some people, I know not to be like rubbing it in anybody's face or anything like that by any means, but I always struggled. I felt with like being like underweight, which I'm sure a lot of people would be like, oh, wouldn't it be so fucking nice? Well, when you're like can't break like $125 and you're carrying around rucksacks and stuff that are like 70 pounds and stuff like that all together with your gear and everything, and you're having to do the same amount of work that somebody that's like $175 is doing, and you have to be able to keep pace and keep up and everything like that. It's a fucking challenge for a little bit. Well, I hated doing hikes in the military, because the guys that were like, a little bit taller than me or whatever have longer stride, or whatever. Or like, even like my girlfriend is 5'3". She's a little bit shorter than me, but she's got longer legs. You know what I mean? So like, and she's a fucking walker, man. Like, So there are times like if we're walking around in the mall or something like that, if we weren't holding hands, she'd be gone. Like, well, go on. What were you gonna?
No,
what were you gonna ask?
I was going to say, for a while, like, and I don't know if Beef ever had this attitude, but like being a big guy and then having a friend that's like, dude, I can't gain weight. You look at them and go, oh, but they have the same problems that you do, just on the other spectrum.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
When I left college, dude, I was like literally a taint hair away from 400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And but my point was, it was hard to find clothes that fit. When you did find clothes that fit, they didn't fit completely. It was like some parts were bigger. And I'm sure on the opposite spectrum, I had a buddy in college, actually, still one of my really good friends. Dude, he could not put on weight, and he weighed like a $110 soaking wet. Like, and he tried everything, dude. He would eat peanut butter and honey sandwiches before he went to bed. He tried everything to put on weight, and he just couldn't.
I was the same way up through basically like until I got out of the military. Like whenever I was in the military, I could not put on weight to save my life. And like while we were on deployment, a lot of time that's what I spent doing in my free time. If I wasn't reading a book, or if I wasn't watching a movie or something like that, I'd be lifting weights. And people would ask like, oh, what do you want in care packages? And I'm like the one time I had my dad send me a jug of whey protein. I was like, send me whey protein, send me like Chef Boyardee stuff, like something that was like semi like non-perishable stuff or whatever. I'm like, send me Chef Boyardee, send me packets of like Easy Mac, like whatever protein I could get in and stuff like that. I was trying my damnedest, but I just could not put on the weight. It wasn't until after I got out of the military that I actually was like, able to put on a little bit of weight. I kind of feel, I honestly don't know. I've been a very big proponent and I always tell people this, especially like whenever I hear like my female friends be like, oh, you know, I need to lose weight or this or that. I'm like, listen, take your scale and fucking chuck it out the window. It's like, and go by how your clothes fit and go by like what you see in the mirror, like go by proportion and like go by, you know, that. I was like, because 250 pounds can look like John Cena or The Rock, or 250 pounds can look like a tub of fucking bubble gum.
Oh,
like,
well,
you know what I mean? It's all about, you know, proportion and you know, and muscle mass and muscle density and everything like that too.
Well,
so like for me, when I was finally like getting around like 145, 150, I was like, hell yeah, you know, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Still like, you know, still kind of a little bit of a small guy, but I kind of got past the point. I don't remember exactly when it was. I kind of realized in my life, I was like, I'm not going to be like bulky muscle or whatever.
Right.
And one of the things that actually, honest to God, one of the things that actually kind of helped me be okay with that was watching stuff like Ninja Warrior, seeing people that were just like athletically fit, you know, like it's, you know, and I mean, yeah, you have like the pro wrestlers and stuff like that. Like always, you know, big fan of like Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho and stuff, who weren't like big beefy sons of bitches, but you know, still like I don't know. I always struggled. I was like, I want to be a bigger guy. It was definitely a self-confidence issue too.
Oh, for sure.
So you know, I eventually became okay with the fact of like, I don't have to be a big beefy guy. I can be sneaky strong. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that works out better anyways, because then somebody who tries to step up to you and wants to fuck with you, then you just, you know, take them by surprise. It's kind of nice. So,
well, and that's the thing of like, I don't know if Beef remembers this. Like it kind of put in perspective for me, a little bit. It was at Beef's wedding. Beef, do you remember this? You still there?
I'm still here, yeah, man.
Okay. We were in the auxiliary room of the church where Beef was getting married, and I was lucky enough to be one of the groomsmen. It was myself, Adam, and Beef's brother Mark.
Right.
And we were changing into our tuxes, and we actually had a little bit of a crisis because we got fitted for tuxes, and I got fitted for mine before, you know, I was really hitting. You know, when I was, you know, on the rise with my lifting, and whenever we had to go and get our tuxes, my vest didn't fit. And I was like, oh, it's because I'm fat and I put weight on. It was because I was getting bigger. Like, I was putting on, because I was, like I said, I was powerlifting. I wasn't lifting to be lean. I was lifting to gain mass.
Yeah.
And I was losing fat, but I put on muscle. And we were changing into our tuxes, and I said something to Ransom, like Beef made a comment. He was like, oh, Poot, you're looking good, man. You know, like I was changing in my tux shirt and something, and Ransom made a comment that was like, you know, something about, you know, oh, you're lifting or doing this or doing whatever. And I said, yeah. And I flexed, and I like did my traps. And one of my favorite workouts and one of my best workouts I do is shoulder and calves.
Yeah.
Like my shrugs, I can shrug for days. But it's because naturally underneath all this, you know, chubbins, I'm built like a tank. I'm just a big guy. You know what I mean? But so I flexed and I did that, and Ransom went, whoa. And it kind of gave me a little ego boost. I was like, yeah, it's goddamn right, whoa. You know, like
I like that.
Yeah, like it made me feel good, and it made me feel like I got to keep going. And it was actually roughly a little after that time that the downfall of my lifting happened, and that's why I'm looking forward to getting back into, like, once gyms reopen and getting into the lifting thing again. Because man, I love lifting. There is nothing like hitting the iron. I know that sounds very bro-y of me, but like, man, like anytime I hate cardio, but I do it. But I do my cardio because of my leg issues. Like doing the elliptical, doing the treadmill, going for runs, going for walks, that's hard on my legs. So I went, what else can I do for cardio? Well, DDP yoga does a great job with getting your heart moving, but you're not moving. You know what I mean? Like getting your heart pumping, but you're just doing yoga stuff because it's all about dynamic resistance and stuff. But what I did at the gym was I hit the heavy bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. Take 20 minutes and just consistently, not hard and fast, just consistently like bam, 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 hit and kick the heavy bag. Dude, by the end of it, you're dead. You're dead.
I did a little bit of boxing in my I started doing a little bit of training in like in between my freshman, I wouldn't say freshman to sophomore year in high school. Actually, no, it might have been my freshman year. Either way, one of my good buddies, I went with him, and basically the only reason I stopped going is because his mom stopped taking him, so I kind of lost my ride there.
Right.
But I still have my wraps that I had from way back then. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, dude, hitting the bag will definitely take it out of you real quick. I honestly, I'm not a huge cardio fan, but I do enjoy bike riding, so I could thank my girl for getting me into that. I enjoy that bit of cardio, but I love doing the mud runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. Like I haven't done it. I need to get back into that. Honestly, for me, it's just been a lack of motivation as of late. And I hate to like say, oh, you know, I don't have time like with my kids and stuff like that. Like I'm sure if I get inventive enough, or if I had like DDP yoga or something, I could do something at home. But it's just like actually getting to the gym to be able to lift and stuff like that and hit different machines. Like I know you can do workouts and stuff like that at home, but there's a difference. There's a difference in not having access to certain machines, like to be able to do incline and decline chest press. You know what I mean? Something like that. So there's a difference. So honestly, that's the biggest thing. It's a time factor for me, or like, you know, like I'm not able to go because I have my kids. If I'm not at work, I'm at home with them, basically.
Dude, so. If I can, if at some point in the future I move to Pittsburgh, we'll have to go to the gym, and I'll get you lifting. Cowboy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just need to get that fire lit under my ass and kind of get it into my routine of things now.
Beef, you can come lifting too.
Yeah, man,
it'd be great. But no, so we're getting long in the tooth here with this.
We are getting snaggly.
But really quick, Beef, you've done a lot to really improve your diet and everything like that, and make sure your quality of life is good, so you're around to annoy the fuck out of us forever, in the most loving, positive way possible.
Of course.
Now you've been a little more active than normal lately too. What have you been up to get yourself shaking and moving?
Well, we just we've been hitting some local parks. We've been doing not like trailblazing, but we've been walking some trails and going out and just enjoying nature and enjoying some of these nice days we've had. And
yeah, man.
You know, it's not even about like, hey, we need to get. And I mean, health obviously is part of it. That's always gonna be part of it. But it's like, you know, we think about going to like Busch Gardens or whatever, you know, whenever this fucking shit's over. And then being able to like walk for 8 hours without hitting the bed at the hotel and being like, oh my god, I'll never be able to walk again.
Yeah. Well, dude.
But yeah, man.
I know I'll be getting my cardio in this weekend because
girlfriend coming over. Oh, anyway, go on, Tom.
No, well, it kind of does relate to her in a way, but no, that's I don't need to wait for the weekend for that. No, we're actually going to go away this weekend. We're going to go down. I think I want to say down to like Connellsville or near Ohio Pal. She hasn't booked it yet, but she was asking me. She's like, "Hey, you aren't going to have the kids this weekend. You're going to be picking them up like late Monday. Why don't we go away for the weekend? It might be nice to just get out and look at a different set of four walls, if anything."
Yeah, man.
No, it's like, and honestly, like I said, today has been a rough day. Doing this has really helped tonight, so I'm glad I was able to come on to do it. And she's like, yeah, we'll take the bikes down. We'll, we can bike from like Connellsville down to Ohio Pal and stuff like that, and go back or whatever. So I'm gonna be getting some cardio in this weekend for sure.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be a little sore for it, but it'll be better. So
yeah, but that means you did a good job. But well, fellas, why don't we call this a night, man? This was a good one.
I'm good to burrito this.
Wrap it up with a nice little burrito. Beef, you got anything you want to add before we take it away?
No, man. I am happy as always to spend time with you folks, and I hope that the folks listening always enjoy, and I hope that everybody enjoys Double or Nothing on Saturday. I know that it's going to be a really great show, and hey, stick around.
I'm on that note. I'm going to need updates, Beef, because I probably won't be watching it, unfortunately.
Yeah, be away.
Duly noted. I'll well, I may actually be using my phone to watch, so I may not be able to. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'll do my best.
Hey, everyone, thank you very much for listening to Breaking Kayfabe. Make sure you listen to the P3 podcast and our predictions for this weekend's Double or Nothing AEW pay-per-view. It's going to be a lot of fun. For the late oh god, I just had a ransom moment. For Alec Ransom, Mr. Tigerbomb, Tom Beef the Legend, and myself, Poot the Bard, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening, day, whenever you're listening to this. Bitches.